Popular Spotify podcast host Joe Rogan on his Tuesday broadcast openly pondered whether or not he needed to sue CNN for allegedly saying that he took horse dewormer after he announced that he had COVID. In fact, as we all know, I'm sure you've seen the stories, Joe Rogan announced, I guess it was last week, maybe week before, whatever it was, that he had been diagnosed with COVID, and he did what he said, threw the kitchen sink at it. Monoclonal antibody treatments, Ivermectin, Z-Pak, prednisone. And he said, obviously, he's feeling much better. He's back in studio doing his podcast, so everything's great with him. But it was the Ivermectin claim, obviously, that made headlines across the country. And sure, there were plenty of headlines saying that Joe Rogan took horse dewormer. So on Tuesday, Rogan said the following. He said, "Bro, do I have to sue CNN? They're making shit up. They keep saying I'm taking horse dewormer. I literally got it from a doctor. It's an American company. They won the Nobel Prize in 2015 for use in human beings, and CNN is saying I'm taking horse dewormer. They must know that's a lie." Now, I don't think Joe Rogan's actually going to sue CNN, but he openly suggested it or pondered out loud whether or not he should. So let's take a look at this. I spent a long time, longer than I would have liked, actually, researching this particular segment here. I was unable to find on CNN where they said he took horse dewormer. And that is key. If, in fact, he wanted to sue them for defamation, he would have to be able to show that they uttered that phrase. He took horse dewormer. Not he took ivermectin, which is also prescribed, or not prescribed, you can get it off the shelf, also used to deworm horses and other livestock. I don't know that they actually uttered that phrase. If they did, I sure as hell couldn't find it. Now, there were plenty of headlines actually, though, that did suggest that. So if he wanted to go after some of the other ones, I could definitely see that as being a possible route. But here's the problem. Here's the problem I have with this entire ivermectin story. Not just with Rogan, but across the country. There is a world of difference, folks, between ivermectin prescribed by a doctor for a human being and the ivermectin that you can go get off the shelf probably right now if the shortage is, not still happening, from a farm and tractor supply store that is made to be given to livestock. There is a world of difference between the two, and doctors and medical specialists have been trying to come out recently and explain that to people, because you do have people being irresponsible saying that, all ivermectin is horse dewormer, or all ivermectin is totally safe for human. Neither claim is true. Neither. And for Joe Rogan to go out there and say, ivermectin won the Nobel Prize in 2015. Yeah, it certainly did, because ivermectin does a hell of a good job of removing parasites, not viruses, parasites from human beings, and it saved a lot of lives. But the ivermectin that Joe Rogan took, as he says, was prescribed by a doctor. The ivermectin that people are overdosing on, resulting in several 100% increases in calls to poison control, is not the crap that you get from a doctor. That's the problem. People have to understand this. For the record, too, federal authorities, medical agencies say that do not take ivermectin for COVID. They're recommending you do not take it for that. So that's what the medical professionals say. But either way, we have to continue to make the distinction that there's two different kinds of ivermectin, because too many people are strawmanning the whole damn thing and attacking people who call it horse dewormer, saying, well, they won the Nobel Prize for people. And the people who only refer to it as horse dewormer, because yes, it is prescribed for humans when you have a parasitic infection in your body. That's the difference. As for Rogan, as for whether or not he has a case against CNN, first of all, I don't think he's actually going to sue. I don't think he would waste his time on something as silly as that. Second, I don't think he has a case at all. At least not against CNN. If he wanted to go after some of the other outlets who absolutely put that in their headlines, he probably does. Because I think it'd be pretty easy in that particular instance to show actual malice. But we also have a very real problem in this country, and when people like Rogan don't make the distinction, it can help make the problem worse, and that is of people walking into, livestock stores, buying ivermectin off the shelf, which is a concentrated dose because it's meant for animals that are 1,000 to more than 2,000 pounds, and then overdosing and having to call poison control. That is a real thing that's happening in this country. So these people have to start making those distinctions. You can't just say, no, it won the Nobel Prize, it's safe, because the human version is safe. The livestock version is not. And I can't believe I'm still having to sit here in September of 2021 and explaining that to people.